You can in JNU question anything and everything, and so I think a lot of questions have been.
We should discuss because I would like to discuss our. You raised some very interesting points, and to me that would be a very rewarding thing if we also had some conversation, and so I could respond and ask you questions and before he leaves.
I can let him complete. How much time do you take, sir?
I'll take 3 minutes.
So you've done that. You help us. He'll now take only 3 minutes. Huh?
Because this is a JNU tradition to have a question answer session too, and a discussion.
Right. We should also have the viewpoints of the students because what they exactly feel. But in JNU, you can question everything, and very rightly you said that you have brought in so many information and counter arguments. We all accept that. We all agree with that. There have been fault lines in India, sure. We have gone through those fault lines. The problem is if someone is trying to exploit that through an organized, mafia of NGOs, etc., funded from outside, that is certainly not good. And we need to really be aware of that and check that. And that's one thing. Now, all of us would probably not question one argument that India has had a very long civilization, probably more than 6,000 years of continuous intellectual activity, and that hasn't been questioned because that has some data which you cannot question. And this old country, this old civilization, doesn't have original thinking now. Why is that so? Many of you have brought out the question of curriculum being westernized, and we are not teaching what we should be teaching in the universities. JNU is JNU, Munirka is Munirka. There is no connect between the two. So why it so happens that our universities, our education system is not bringing in things which concerns us. We are studying things which are actually the theories are built somewhere else, and we are doing research on those theories in JNU and India, mostly of that kind. So the Western model and methodology would be good for some things, but not for everything. So we need not import that. Whole and soul, we should do research and adapt that. I'll be very brief. Now, therefore, when you get original thinking, original ideas, these are actually contained in Sanskrit texts. We fortunately have a Sanskrit department in JNU. We have a very bright faculty. Rajneesh ji is here, Ramnath ji is here, and a lot of other faculty members who can very well help you and in going through the texts and getting the original ideas, unadulterated original ideas, because they were not made outside India. They were made in India. So please get those ideas, and the best would be Hindi translation or maybe Indian language translation. Do not trust English translations. Why don't trust English translations? Because we did a translation for for UMass Dartmouth. We were translating Rasai and Sar, and there was a term bhasma. We need to translate that into English. We were wondering how to translate that bhasma into English, as a dust or ash or something. We said we'll keep bhasma as it is because. So it's a problem, we can't translate English Sanskrit text into English language. We can, and all Indian languages will be happy to keep bhasma as it is because they just work well with Indian languages. Therefore, trust Indian language translation in getting original ideas. Now there are many controversies actually. The controversy of Aryan Dravid and the Aryan invasion theory. If you study Sanskrit text, you will get ideas. What exactly happened. For example, there is a text in Upanishada, there is a story, and the person is saying, now I have lived here enough, now I'm going westwards where my brothers have gone long back. So a lot of these stories will tell you, ideas, what exactly must have happened. So Sanskrit texts are the honest documentation of our history, Rig Veda beginning with. So we have to approach these texts very, very honestly. And in this connection, the whole controversy of Arya versus Dravid, and it's a made up controversy actually. And in the Mahabharata Adi Parva, these terms are already there: Arya, Dravida, Kerala, Chola, and it appears that all these are basically the same people living in different parts of the India, in different parts of the country. These are regional connotations, as we have Biharis, Punjabis, etc. today. So genetically, biologically, these are the same people, and this has been proved by a research by Professor Bamjay, who was supposed to be here. His research says that the genetic constitution of a Kashmiri Brahmin is exactly the same as Paswans of Bihar. There is no difference between the two. So caste, if any, in India is of course very, very recent. If not, so this something must have happened. I agree with you. Some something happened in the country, maybe external, internal, our own problems maybe, and we multiplied into many castes. And there have been atrocities of caste also, and we all accept that, and we need to solve those problems internally, then let anybody else solve it from outside. Now, the similar controversy ranges on the whole question of Vedic versus Proto-Indo-European. We have a book, Rajiv, we did a seminar in UMass Dartmouth, and the book is Perspectives on the Origin of Indian Civilization. It's been edited by me and Angela Mercantoni, a linguist. So please read that book. There are a lot of new data coming in, and what we are positing that maybe there was an Indic family in India, and that led to these language families in India, and there must be a Proto-Indic. We may or may not have had connections with the European family. It doesn't make many people feel good that we had connections with Europe, and therefore they have a legitimacy in colonizing or whatever to do in India. So, but then there has been a very good paper by Professor Kazanas. He says that it's a very good idea to actually posit Vedic as the earliest source than Proto-Indo-European, which is an imaginary source actually. There are a lot more data actually in that book. You can see the data that positing Vedic as the earliest would be much more logical and symmetrical than positing Proto-Indo-European, which is of course imaginary. Now there is a new data actually. There was a field work done in Himachal. There is a Bangani village actually. Bangani language has Kentum properties, and that actually falsifies most of the data that was given earlier by the Indo-Europeanists and Proto-Indo-Europeanists. So certainly, I'll just, I hope I have not overshot my 3 minutes time. There's certainly a great demand that we need to think original and think about problems and ideas which concern us immediately, than probably do and redo things which are not of our immediate concern. So I would say certainly that we should be aware of things happening in India, outside India, and be a little bit more concerned. And therefore, Rajiv's work, his books are certainly an eye-opener to all of us. Please go through those books and see, if you can get some nice data to make an argument. Thank you very much.